Usagi Tsukino's best friend? Now, I feel like most people would either claim that it's Rei or Minako. Rei because the two have this often strange pair where they are frenemies one second and then kind of besties the next. They literally have this love-hate relationship where they love to tease each other, and if you're talking about the original dub, at one point, Rei totally went out with Usagi's future husband. Kind of a crazy relationship those two have. But let's not forget about Minako. She was the original Sailor. She was Sailor V. She even looks exactly like Usagi, often taking her place, with the same stunning blue eyes and golden hair, and they have the exact same mirror image personality, both loving sweets, boys, idols, video games, and manga, and being really bad at test scores, having to retake a lot of their tests together. Now, maybe a little bit further down the line, yes, maybe one of the Sailor Scouts really did become Usagi's best friend, but that is not who we're talking about today. We're talking about Usagi Tsukino's original best friend, who is often very forgotten about, which is Naru Osaka. Naru was the first ever character introduced as Usagi's friend in the Sailor Moon franchise, and where did she go? She was such an important character in season 1 of the anime, and now she's just kind of gone after season 1. So what happened to Naru? Let's go ahead and talk about who she is and some theories as to why she is not as relevant anymore. So who is Naru Osaka? Well, she is technically the best friend of Usagi Tsukino, aka Sailor Moon. Now, in the anime and the manga, Naru's screen time is vastly different. As in the anime, Naru gets a lot of screen time and a lot of development as a character, but in the manga, she's treated more so as a side character, someone who is Usagi's friend and sometimes gets in danger, but isn't necessarily a big importance to the story. Now, this has caused a big rift in the community when it comes to talking about Naru. A lot of people feel like, due to the anime giving her a lot of screen time, especially in the first season, that it just feels kind of wrong that she's no longer really a part of Usagi's life, which actually isn't true at all. In the Sailor Stars arc, we actually see Usagi, who's now in high school, having lunch with Michiru, Haruka, and Naru. Naru does still appear throughout the manga, but especially in the anime, her screen time is completely done away with practically by the end of season 1. Naru, or as many people also know her as Molly in the original dub, actually is just a side character. She was never necessarily meant to become a recurring character as seen in the manga. Now, there are a lot of fan canons or even theories that she could have actually been Sailor Earth. Now, the reason people give her the title of Sailor Earth is because technically there is not a Sailor Scout who represents Earth, but Mamoru is technically our Sailor Earth Scout, considering he is the Prince of Earth. Yes, Earth does not technically have a Sailor Scout, but they do have a protector, which is Mamoru and also technically Usagi. I'm gonna be so real, I feel like Sailor Moon definitely is also a Sailor Earth character. She low-key Sailor Galaxy. She just protects everyone and everything. That's how badass she is. Now, there are actually some theories that I've seen within the community of people trying to reason as to why Naru kind of fades from the story in a fanon sense, instead of just a she was a side character and there were a lot of fillers in the anime. These are some theories that I have seen to give rise as to why Naru is not as important in the story later on as the other characters. And let's be so real, a lot of these theories actually help Usagi look like a better friend to Naru, because it is genuinely like she completely replaces all of her season 1 friends by the start of season 2 and especially by the start of season 3. So the first theory is that Naru gets together with Umino and they just kind of go off and do their own thing as a couple now. Now, this is something that you see happening in real life all the time, where someone gets into a relationship and they might spend more time with their partner than with their best friend. Yes, it is sad. Yes, I've also been through that. It sucks being the friend in that scenario, but it's just a part of life, and these are like 13 to 15-year-olds, so a big theory is that she's just doing her own thing with Umino, going on dates, being a normal teenager. Now, theory 2 is the one that I personally really like, which is that Usagi is actually trying to distance herself away from Naru. Again, these are just theories, but I really like this one because we know that Usagi is Sailor Moon. She is also Princess Serenity, and everybody in the entire galaxy seemingly is after her. She is one of the most powerful, well, actually, she is the most powerful person, especially in the Sailor Moon universe. Usagi is actually the most powerful person in the entire galaxy. So there is danger coming at her. There are monsters attacking people who she loves every day, basically. And this theory is that Usagi distanced herself from Naru to try to save her, because Naru is just a normal girl. She's not a Sailor Scout. She doesn't even know that Usagi is Sailor Moon. She's just a normal girl with a normal life. And in this theory, Usagi just doesn't want her to have to be in danger by being her friend and being around her all the time. And personally, again, I really like this theory, showing that Usagi's not purposely being a bad friend because now she's got, her past life friends as, Princess of the Moon, but instead, she's just trying to protect Naru, which I really do think is really sweet. Honestly though, justice for Naru. I feel like Naru would have been a really cool character to see really explored more in the Sailor Moon franchise. And again, I don't love the way that the manga and the anime tend to frame the fact that Usagi, now with her new friends from her past life reborn into the 20th century, are now just kind of stuck together and no one else can really be friends with them. It's almost like Usagi did forget about Naru, but I again really like the theory that no, she's just trying to distance herself from Naru to try and protect her. Now, another thing that I thought about when actually talking about this video is that it could just be that they've grown apart. I like to think that it's maybe even a fusion of both the Umino theory and also the theory of the two just trying to protect each other, Usagi distancing herself from Naru to try to protect her, because we do know that by the end of Sailor Moon, they go to high school. They're not middle schoolers anymore. They move on to high school, and it could just be that Naru and Usagi just don't have classes anymore together, and they don't see each other anymore. It could be as simple as that. Yes, it would be nice to see more of Naru in the anime, as in the manga, there are a couple scenes where we do see the two still hanging out with each other in groups of others, but Naru definitely seemingly is booted down from the series on the list of important friends, but maybe they just grew apart. It happens in real life when you move schools or when you even go up in a grade. If you don't see anyone for a while, you might just start losing that friendship with them. And if you don't communicate, then of course you're going to start losing friendship points. Now, I do think this also speaks numbers to the Sailor Guardians and their friendship as well, because yes, they are friends, yes, they are Sailor Scouts, but they also have a whole past life together. Like, these bonds that the Sailor Guardians have are absolutely eternal bonds. And sorry, Naru, but she just doesn't have bonds with the rest of them like that. So it does make sense as to why Usagi would want to spend more time with people that she literally, had a whole life with before everything came crashing down to the point where they had to be reborn together. It makes sense, but yes, it is kind of sad that it does feel like Naru is booted from the friendship, but also that she feels like she's wasted potential. I feel like Naru could have been a really great character to just kind of have on the sideline. Like, yes, it's established that she is not someone from the Silver Millennium. She was not someone who was reborn. So yes, she doesn't have the ties that the other girls do, but I think it would have been really cool to just kind of see her be a civilian on the side, maybe even helping the girls. Maybe she could have known the secret identities of the Sailor Scouts and kind of helped them on the side. Like, what if she could have been pulling a Ladybug blog out or something? Like, that would have been so cool, and it would have kept her character in the show while still adding character to Naru. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down below about Naru. Would you have loved to see more about her? And if you did, what kind of character do you think she could have become? Would you like to see her become a sailor? Or would you like to see her be someone who helped the team on the side? Let me know all your opinions down below in the comments. And please remember to like, share, subscribe. Check out my second channel over here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!